Hello, YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community, Gandalf here. We have a brand new hero, Jenny, who just joined the Wizard Eye faction, and there was quite a bit of debate and hype around her earlier this week when she was announced, because she is going to absolutely shut out a very critical hero in PvP, Melchio. We'll go into more into detail and talk about perhaps the era of nuking everybody with Melchio has finally came to an end. I don't know if that's a good thing or not because Melchio is a very free-to-play hero. Melchio is very free-to-play friendly. With the existence of Jenny, his relevance is going to be reduced a little bit. I mean, he's still going to be strong against so many other teams. It's just when they have a Jenny, you can't nuke it. Um, I like these changes to the meta, these niche hero that's going to take up a spot. We're starting to see all these what I'll call tech options in your five-man composition. Um, by giving up one of the team slots, you prevent yourself from one part. You protect yourself from a particular composition. So we're going to see more diversity in the meta. Um, but other than that, she isn't made to be uh, overly OP. I think Atkins was a little bit overtuned for a regular legendary hero, which nothing wrong with that. I mean, having great heroes that aren't limited heroes is always welcomed to any gacha game. So let's go into her kit more in detail, and while we also kind of just set up the teams as well. I'm actually going to showcase this one um, with Jenny on the opposite team. So we're going to do Melchio and we'll do space on our side. And on the enemy team, we'll do also just a Melchio as well, just so we can get the damage comparison in there, right? So you can see the impact of it. Um, and where's Jenny? Jenny is over here. Um, so looking at her kit, right? Jenny's kit is pretty easy to understand. Okay, single target attack, tenacity down, 100% chance to do that. AoE, uh, so basic is going to be 400% multiplier, 360 multiplier with 3-turn cooldown, has ability to inflict 100% chance of severe wound and feebleness. Um, and then her ultimate will give self crit up first, and then do 420% attack damage. And crit up basically increases crit damage by 60%. Now, at her passive, whenever she's casting skills, she's proactively, she's going to get a layer of tarot card, and she can get up to 20. And will not be removed when she dies, and increase turn meter by 0.5. Will increase basically up to 1 full percent basically at fully leveled up. And then she's also going to get each layer is going to give self additional 2% crit. Okay, so 20 plus 4, so 80% more crit from this passive. And she's going to get piercing, 1% extra piercing, uh, when and increase self piercing by 1% when stacked to 10 layers. So piercing increased by each layer by 1%. So only going up to each layer will increase by 1%, but and additionally self-piercing. Okay, so when there's more than 10 layers, you start to get piercing and you get another 1%, 1 point, yeah, zero point 0.5, 1.5, 15% piercing, so 20 will be 30% piercing. So that's a decent amount of piercing, right? With Bunny on top, you're pretty much close to, and you add in the shield smash aura, you're pretty much at 100% piercing. So you're basically ignoring defense. You have massive amount of crit. So it's almost like, hey, you know what? Why don't we get rid of Melchio with a hero that can nuke just like Melchio with ton of crit, okay? And that is also a counter to Melchio. So it's like, yeah, let's give people that. From damage wise, I think she's on par to Gellan and possibly doing a little bit more simply because the ability to do high, to be able to pierce defense quite a bit. So we'll do a showcase on that as well in this video. So let's explain her exclusives as well. The first one is one we talk about is going to basically stop the enemy's crit damage, and it's very effective at doing that. She's going to add exclusive 2. She's going to do a strip. Okay, so that means get rid of their shields, get rid of their damage immunity. However, it won't remove attribute buffs. So things like consolidation won't be removed, defense up, HP up, all of those things won't be removed. It's only the other buffs, right, will be removed. So, and finally, it's going to inflict crit damage up on all allies for 2 turns. Exclusive 3. When at the start of the battle, she is going to get 10 additional layers at the start of the battle. And additionally increased 0.5% piercing, okay, and crit damage by another, each layer by another 2%. So get another 20% crit damage. So start off the bat, she's going to be at like 10 layers for how much crit is she going to be like? She's going to be at 2, 4, 2, so 6. She's going to get 60% crit up front. She's going to boost her own crit. So yeah, she's going to ignore defense. Wonderful. It's like a Melchio. It's really doing the exact same thing as Melchio. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Like they're like, yeah, everybody has a Melchio, and it's super effective in the meta. We're not making any money off of this. So why don't we introduce a hero that's going to make Melchio useless against her? And she's going to replace Melchio for the exact same spot on that particular team. Isn't that wonderful? And because she gets a little bit of extra turn meter at the start, it synergizes better with Bunny because Bunny can give up to 36% turn meter. Sorry, 42 because it's gonna. Let me just make sure I do that right. I think it's 41%. Is it 41%? It's 25 plus 6 plus 6. So that's 37%. Then plus her starting with 10. So that gets 47% turn meter. So you're going to synergize super well. Like you can just pop her bunny into her and she's going to go. Okay. So, and then you follow up with another round of AoE. So you start with astrology burst, then you do, a second AoE, and you're gonna be fine, right? You're gonna do a ton of damage. You're gonna wipe out whatever the enemy has, and it's gonna be very effective at doing that. So let's enough me talking. Let's go into the showcase, explaining some of the mechanics a little bit. We'll also probably do a little bit of damage comparison on similar type of stats, so we get a feel for, what are we really, what is she capable of doing. So first part, um, let's explain the mechanic here just to show everyone what it looks like. So you see I have 2 identical Melchio here. All right, note the crit damage and crit rate. Okay, and you can see that their Jenny has a little bit extra turn meter compared to the Melchio, even though they're the same speed. So that's the exclusive 3 working there, getting the extra 10 tarot cards. Okay, um, so now if we actually check out my Melchio, he's at 0% crit damage. So that means whatever I hit, if we slow it down, we're going to see the crit damage and the regular numbers hit exactly the same. Okay, you can see the enemy though, that's how much the crit damage would have done. All right, so it's a pure passive. You don't need to hit the enemy first to trigger this, okay, for it to work. So that's the first part. Now let's probably do some damage showcase here. Um, Actually, let's do that. So line up enemy team. We're gonna just maybe use our here. Let's apply this team here. That's an old setup. Let's just put our super tanky team in this spot. We'll bring out our usual suspects. We'll bring out the Wukong. We'll bring out Nordak. We'll bring out Lydia, Santa, and let's say Heng will be our choice here. Where is it? Okay, and on my own team, um, yeah, on my own team, I am going to use our standard nuke team. Whereas Pop will need to bring out Popper, Big Jack, Lydia, and Bunny. And then for attributes, we're just gonna use our own data here for all of these heroes. Okay, so we can kind of at least showcase, what kind of damage benchmark are we talking about here for this test? So one, Bunny up, Popper, and let's take a peek. I know it doesn't have aura, all of that, but at least let's just note down the damage a bit. We'll focus on Nordak. So we did around 600k in this particular instance. Okay, so lineup wise, okay, we're going to simply let's just take a quick look at the stats here, okay? So my Melchio here is at 388 crit damage. We're gonna move the exact same gear lineup. And also, I mean, the damage, it's just copying over the stats, right? We don't have the aura, we don't have the stats or anything like that. But what we saw there was we saw 600 or so. Okay, 600k damage or so on the Nordak. Okay, we'll pay attention to the middle here. I'm just going to make one tiny change too. So first of all, we see that with the extra tarot cards, she is starting out straight up, okay, straight up with 80% extra crit damage now. We're going to repeat this exercise, and she starts out with an extra little bit of turn meter as well. Basically, when we switch a hero like this, she's taking the exact same stats as the Melchio. So for benchmark comparison, we will run the exact same setup, so you get a sense of what the damage looks like. We'll slow it down. Okay, big nuke coming in. Okay, so now big AoE nuke. And what do we see? A whopping 900k. So about half the damage of what Melchio does, right? Um, but with that extra bit of turn meter gain, it's much more likely for you to much more likely for you to get an extra turn off of her um, before Jack gives her a second turn. So essentially, you can get very close to Melchio level of damage from that perspective. Let's just show the E3 here. Look, we're going to strip everything away except the tenacity, except the attribute buff. So the this immune to damage will go away, immune to buff goes away. So you can see only the attribute debuffs are remain, and you get rid of the shields as well, right? From that strip. Sorry. Let's try that again. Now we're gonna edit the lineup, but we're just gonna do that one more time, just so that we have consistency there in terms of having the damage. Just gonna repeat that because I can't remember if Nordak had the defense down there. But let's do that one more time on the Nordak and just carefully watch the damage. Yeah, it's 900k plus all of the shields kind of gone there. So that's a pretty impressive nuke. Uh, just put let's just put Melchio back there just for a sec. Okay, we're gonna focus again on the Nordak, just to see the three part. Could have swear I thought I saw the 900, but here we only saw 600. But I think we got rid of the apple, but Nordak did not die there. Yeah, so we saw two 600k. The apple is definitely gone. Okay, the apple is definitely gone. Um, Survived because one of them, I guess, when you do these multi hits, it's the hit itself. That single hit was actually more close to, I think it was closer to 1.5, 1.5, right? Because we have to pay attention to that to the shield number. The 600k was done. There was damage done on the shield, so the 600k was after the shield was broken. So it was like 1 point, I would say 1.8 mil lineup. We'll replace it. We'll do this one last time. Sorry that you have to rewatch this a couple times. I just want to make sure I'm not misleading you with the numbers. And of course, once you with penetration, it is actually it's not a diminishing return, it's actually an increasing return. So the closer you get to 100% penetration, the more effective it is at um, shredding the defense and just ignoring defense damage basically. It's scaled linearly. Um, for every percent, it's just straight up increasing damage that way. It really has to. Anyways, go if you haven't taken a look at my in-depth mechanics guide on the damage calculation, go to my channel and take a look at it. But I'm just gonna slow down, make sure we read both numbers, right? There is okay, you know what? For my sanity, I am gonna just dial her crit rate to 100%, just so that so we don't have to repeat this again. And we will watch very closely um, to make sure we get the right number here. Okay, this is the moment. We're gonna watch very slowly. We see two numbers. We saw 900k, and then the shield number. We need to see the other number on the shield as well. Okay, so that was 780 plus 500k. So about 1.2, 1.3-ish damage wise. So of course the multiplier is not as high as Melchio. Okay, it's not going to be as high as Melchio. That's all right. She has an easier way to get a second turn. You might not be able to nuke as cleanly as you like, but I feel like with aura, and everything on top, you should have an easier time. And the fact that for her kit, you're going to be nuking with her on a defense team. So it's more about the additional turns that she's going to be taking. She's going to be like a tech option to prevent your de defense team from getting nuked straight out. But it's not going to stop a speed cleave team with Jingle Bell in it. So from that perspective, you're still faced with exact same problem. So let's go talk about, what that potentially looks like. Oh, sorry. Let's do one last comparison. And I said Gellan would be, you know, um, a good comparison point, right? So let's see what Gellan does. Um, the problem with Gellan, the Gellan's gonna give you way more hits. Um, but what I worry is she is not going to the damage is going to be spread out a little bit. So where's my green? Now, of course, no, we're gonna the damage is going to be a bit higher on Nordak, right? Because it's green versus, sorry, it's going to be blue versus green. Where is she? There we go. She's going to inherit the stats. So Gellan, same crit damage, same attack. Um, we're just gonna add an attribute here. We're just gonna max her out her crit damage just so that it's easier to read the numbers. So it's one same number. Okay, Gellan, one. Okay, we're gonna watch this slowly. She's gonna strip off the buffs and do all these extra hits. Oh, they went all over to Wukong. Wonderful. Right. But you can see the damage comparison here, right? Gelman's just heavily outclassed. The piercing is phenomenal. The extra crit damage, I think mostly it's the piercing that's allowing us to do um, to make this a drastic difference. So from a nuking potential perspective, her multipliers are deceivingly low. Because if we think about Gilliman, right? Gilliman's multiplier is ridiculous. It's like it's the number of arcane shots you get out of it. It's like 160 times 6 plus, yeah, plus, yeah, I think it's a total of 11 hits if I remember correctly. Because when you kind of do the knowledge burst and then you get intellectual prison afterwards. So you have 200% here. You have 4 additional rune stones. Then, yeah, additionally, yeah, I think it's a total of 11 hits. Anyways, it's supposed to be a ridiculous multiplier. We didn't kill Wukong. The damage kind of speaks for itself. All right, so what does that mean from a team composition perspective, right? So we got a solid nuker. I feel like when we look at our advanced arena lineup, right? This is my lineup for, if you haven't realized that yet, I kind of showcased it a little bit. What that just simply means is we're not using Melchio to nuke anymore. We're going to use Jingle Bell to nuke. Alternatively, right, if you feel like you want to use Jenny there, that works too. But I feel like putting Jenny here in Melchio's spot will be a better setup, in my opinion. Simply because of how with Melchio, it's it's a little bit, sorry, with Jenny here, because it's going to prevent this team from getting, Melchio nuked. Um, and you get the Lydia Wukong defense. So most other type of nuke will have a hard time going through Wukong anyways. So this gives you a very good option. I do like Jingle Bell here as well, just replacing Wukong here with Melchio there with Jenny, makes a very good option there as well. So there you have it. Um, I mean, how strong is Jenny? I mean, she's a solid nuker for direct damage. I mean, it's worth investing into her. She has the unique benefit of being able to kind of render Machios useless. Um, so so yeah, it's a very good tech option, right? I think she will synergize really well with Donald. So a really fast Donald plus her will now officially shut out kind of offensive teams that way. So yeah, I mean she will bring a stir to the meta for sure, but I don't think she'll change the meta drastically. I think we will see the exit of Melchio. Melchio won't have that high of a, because literally Melchio is in every single team now, right? So Melchio might go out of flavor a little bit, especially now there's two heroes. That's gonna render him a little bit, you know, weak. So now you can like put Jenny on a team, put Atkins on another team. It's gonna get two wins against the Melchio team now, right? So yeah, sorry, a lot lengthier than I want it to be. But I hope this helps you with a very informed decision about summons tomorrow. Wish wise, they're really getting to me in terms of the number of wishes I have. Fortunately, I do have some gems. I will pick up a copy of Jenny. Hopefully, I get her early. But they really should stop doing this because I can't afford to summon keep summoning like this. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoy the in detail video, and tomorrow you can catch my video on getting a copy of Jenny. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Gandalf out.